Look, all I'm saying is exactly what Giannis said. It's his city. He ain't leaving. All right? He had some extra words in there, but you know what I mean. I don't know why you got to be so damn negative about it. Welcome to this week's edition of Square Logic. You know, Packers haven't exactly been playing with their quote-unquote piss hot on the road this season. A loss in Cleveland, which they should not have lost. A tie in Dallas, which still pisses me off. So I had them slated to lose a game in which they haven't won in that place since 1970 against the Steelers in Week 8, and well, I'm always happy to be wrong. They didn't lose. As a matter of fact, they dominated. Defensively, offensively, special teams after the first half, but you get my drift. They dominated for the most part. So they picked up the W. We picked up the L. But the important thing is they picked up the W. And we move on now to Week 9 action, finally back at home in the not-so-frozen tundra of Lambeau Field in your old school 23 unis. And you have an intriguing ball game against the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers, defensively, were a very tough team to get explosive plays on. They're one of the better teams at limiting those explosive plays, which is something that the Packers thrive on. They were also a pretty good run-stopping team. That is until last week when they went head up against a pissed-off Buffalo Bills squad that dropped 40 on their head, and they lost 40-9 at home. James Cook put up over 200 yards rushing. You didn't have a huge day from Josh Allen, but you didn't need it. Defensively, they did everything right. Offensively, as far as running the football, they did everything right. You didn't need big days from anybody else. You ran the football, you played defense, you dominated. But it's that sort of thing that kind of makes this a trap game for the Green Bay Packers. Yes, they got absolutely dominated last week against the Bills. That means they're going to be angry. And for a defense that is pretty decent against stopping the run, for a defense that does a really good job in limiting those explosive plays, for an offense that runs the football pretty well with Rico Dowdle, and now you got Chuba Hubbard coming back in there. Bryce Young, when he's right, he's right. Tedarrell McMillan, he's a budding star. Can't really talk about Xavier Legette because he hasn't really done anything consistently. But the talent is there. You have a tough ball team coming in here, especially getting embarrassed at home on their own home turf. And now they have a chance to come into Lambeau. Beat a team that has only one loss on its record. A team that people are really starting to get back on the train of being a Super Bowl contender, which is you. You showed up in Pittsburgh after that first half, which was really blood pressure raising. But you showed up. Defense closed the game out. Micah Parsons did what he needed to do. Rashawn Gary did what he needed to do. Love what Carrington Valentine did on the outside instead of playing Nate Hobbs, who was pretty much burnt toast all week the week prior. And Jordan Love, lights out. 360 for 3 tutties. Tucker Kraft, he may be quickly becoming the best tight end in all of the NFL. You had so much go right. And it's so easy to lean into what's going right and get your head pumped up. But again, you got a tough ball club that does a lot of the things right. They may not have the wins to match that, and they're looking to knock you off. And if you start reading into your own success, if you start reading into your own press, into your own hype, you can get got. So with that being said, who wins? Who prevails? Week 9, Lambeau Field, Panthers, Packers, 1923 old school unis. I'll go Green Bay 30, Carolina 20. I think Green Bay will do exactly what they did last week. It might be a bit of a struggle in that first half. Nothing was really consistent. You're missing field goals. I don't know why it's always like that, but the most encouraging thing I saw in that second half of the game against Pittsburgh in Week 8 were actual adjustments, which is something I have not seen in a long time from this ball club. Jeff Hafley went and got in his bag. They were running jumbo, the Pittsburgh Steelers were. And he made the adjustments to put an end to that. The way he used Micah Parsons, stacking him, hiding him, moving him around so they could not pick up where he was coming from. masterful work. And offensively, you can't say that Matt LaFleur didn't call up the right plays, because he did. But not only did he do that, but the players executed. And getting Christian Watson back, who I feel is the real X factor in this offense, is a huge, huge deal. And it's only going to get better. Green Bay over Carolina, 30-20. Packers over Panthers, 30-20. Remember, it does not matter the score. All that matters, as I said, the Packers will beat the Panthers in Week 9, Lambeau Field, this Sunday. Who do you think will win? Let us know below. But until then, I'm T Squared. This is Squared Logic. We out.